In the heart of one of the deadliest battles in history, two Soviet snipers fight not just for victory, but for survival. Welcome to Ingles Zoo, where we bring you epic stories with powerful narratives. Today, we dive into Shadows over Stalingrad, a gripping World War II tale set during the brutal siege of Stalingrad. Follow Sergei Volkov and Tanya Smirnova, two elite Soviet snipers, as they navigate a city reduced to ruins. With German forces closing in, every shot counts, and every move could be their last. Collision intense battles, unbreakable courage, a fight to the death. Will they survive the frozen hell of Stalingrad, or will history swallow them whole? Bell subscribe to Ingles Zoo and step into the shadows of war. The battle has just begun. Shadows over Stalingrad, a World War II tale of survival and sacrifice. Introduction: The City of Ghosts. Stalingrad, 1942. The city was dying, but refused be buried. The Volga River, once a lifeline for trade and industry, now ran thick with the blood of fallen soldiers. Buildings stood as skeletons of their former selves, hollow by fire, shattered by bombs. The streets were no longer streets. They were graveyards. For 6 months, the Red Army and the Wehrmacht fought over every inch of the city. A ruined apartment block, a single room. Even a staircase could mean the difference between life and death. Soldiers did not think in miles or kilometers anymore, only meters. And amid this chaos, two Soviet snipers became legends. Chapter 1: Frozen in Time. Sergei Volkov presses back against the crumbling brick wall of a ruined factory. The wind bit into his exposed skin, carrying with it the scent of smoke, metal, and decay. His fingers, stiff from the cold, tightened around his Mosin Nagant rifle. Beside him, Tanya Smirnova wiped the frost from her rifle's scope. Her emerald green eyes, sharp as a wolf's, scanned the street below. 3 Germans, patrolling. "They're nervous," she whispered. Sergei nodded. "They should be. This is our city." A pause. Then Tanya smirked. "Let's remind them." She exhaled slowly, her breath a ghost in the night air. She aimed. The wind howled. The rifle cracked. The German soldier never saw the bullet that took his life. Panic erupted below. The remaining soldiers ducked behind rubble, frantically searching for the hidden sniper. Sergei took aim. 1 breath, 1 shot. Another enemy fell. The last soldier turned to run, but Tanya fired again, this time striking him in the leg. He collapsed, screaming. "Let him go," Sergei muttered. "He'll tell the others that Stalingrad belongs to the dead, and in this city, the dead ruled." Chapter 2: The German Offensive. At dawn, the ground shook. The Germans were attacking. Hundreds of them. Sergei and Tanya sprinted through the ruins, dodging mortar fire. Tanks rolled through the streets, their engines growling like beasts. Panzers. The Red Army had little to stop them. A Soviet officer ran past, yelling, "Hold the line! No retreat! No surrender!" Machine guns rattled. Men screamed. The air stank of gunpowder and burning flesh. Sergei dove into a shell crater, Tanya landing beside him. "This is madness," she shouted. "No," Sergei said, reloading. "This is war." Above them, Soviet planes roared through the sky, dropping bombs on German positions. The ground trembled. A German soldier fell into their crater, dazed. He was young, just a boy. Sergei hesitated. Tanya did not. Her knife flashed. The boy never got the chance to beg. They had no time for mercy. Chapter 3. The Rats' War. The battle dragged on for days. Food was scarce. Water was a luxury. Sleep was impossible. Sergei and Tanya were forced underground, into Stalingrad sewers, where soldiers moved like rats beneath the city. The tunnels were dark, damp, and filled with corpses. Some had been dead for weeks. The smell of rot clung to everything. "Keep moving," Tanya whispered. "We stay here too long, we become them." Suddenly, footsteps. Not Soviet. Sergei raised his rifle. A flashlight flickered ahead. German voices. "Sie sind hier unten." They are down here. The hunters had become the hunted. Sergei motioned for Tanya to take the left tunnel. He went right. The plan was simple: divide and kill. A German soldier rounded the corner. Sergei fired point blank. The shot echoed like thunder in the tunnels. More footsteps. More Germans. Tanya appeared from the shadows, knife in hand. Silent. Deadly. A quick slice to the throat, and the soldier collapsed without a sound. "We need to go," she whispered. They ran deeper into the underground abyss. Above them, the city burned. Chapter 4. The Turning Point. Winter arrived, and with it, the Red Army's counterattack. The Germans, starving and frozen, began to fall back. Sergei and Tanya, now hardened warriors, were assigned a final mission: eliminate a high-ranking German officer before he could escape Stalingrad. They set up in a ruined bell tower. Snow fell gently, masking the destruction below. Through her scope, Tanya spotted him, a general. "This is it," she murmured. "One shot to end it all." She exhaled, steadied her hands. The wind whispered. Her rifle spoke. The general collapsed. The Germans broke. The Red Army advanced. Stalingrad was theirs. Epilogue. Legends never die. Months later, the war still raged. But Stalingrad stood unbroken. Sergei and Tanya had survived, but at a cost. They were no longer the same people. One evening, sitting by a fire in a makeshift Soviet camp, Sergei turned to Tanya. "What happens after the war?" he asked. Tanya smirked, the firelight dancing in her green eyes. "We find another fight," she said, "because war was all they knew, and legends never die." Shadows over Stalingrad, a World War II tale of survival and sacrifice. Introduction: The City of Ghosts.